And on a side note, there's way more to breaking a script down than just looking at the words and speaking.
That's good.
What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Brian Terry Snell. I'm an actor, filmmaker, and model located in Atlanta, Georgia, and I am coming to you from my very exciting desk. And I am coming to you from my very exciting desk in my office, in my house. Yeah. Today we're going to learn how to break down a script and how to read a script. The most important parts like the characters, the actions, the dialogue, page numbers, small things, big things, everything that has to do with the script. We're going to break it down today for you. Now, eventually I'm going to get into more detail on a different video of how to break down the script for an audition or for when you're headed to set and those kind of details. But for today, we're just going to look at the dynamics of the actual script. I would consider today the basics. This is the first time you've ever got a script, or you've looked at a couple scripts, or you're thinking about looking at a script, but you don't really know where to go. So today is going to be a very basic lesson that's going to help you just analyze what everything means that's on this page. I'm working on multiple videos into one series for the beginner actor. So today, this is part 2. I hope you guys enjoy it. Now, whether you're a beginner actor or you've been doing this for a long time, the process never really changes, okay? I take it you're watching this video because you need help breaking down scripts. I think we all do. You'll never get so good that you don't need this information or need to know how to break down a script because it's going to come throughout your whole career. The first thing I want to talk about is the characters. This is the most important thing to me because you need to know how many people are in the scene, who's in the scene, and why they're in the scene. When you're looking at a script, if there's 2 people in the scene, you and then one other person, you want to figure out what that relationship is between those people. And you can find that out just by reading the dialogue. When you look at your character, there's going to be descriptions. It might say, Johnny, male, 34, age and all these other descriptions, and you want to kind of get an understanding of who this character is and what information that they're giving you based on this maybe small script, or it could be 10 pages. This will give you the information that you need to play the scene out. Just because it says Johnny, 34, male, angry, aggressive, mean. Yes, you want to have the description involved in what they're saying, but not every line needs to be angry, mean, and aggressive. You got to kind of feel the scene out. Everybody's going to play it aggressive and mean and this and the other. So find you in there, if that makes sense, and then play it how you would play it. There's no character. You are the character. So we don't need to become characters and all this other stuff. It's you. You just have to be you. If you look at me, I'm just going to use myself for an example here. I can already look mean, aggressive, and tough and all this other stuff. I don't really have to act. I don't really have to do much. I have the tattoos. I have that look already. When I get a script that says something like my character description may be tough and aggressive and mean and this and the other, a lot of the times I just have to stand there and give a good facial expression.
So let me clue you in. I am not in danger, Skylar. I am the danger. A guy opens his door and gets shot and you think that of me? No. I am the one who knocks.
And that already gives off the energy that I need I don't need to yell and scream and all this other stuff. Pay attention to your character descriptions because those are very important. They establish your relationship. They establish your age range. There's a lot of details in there. And you will also notice one thing that's important. When you look at a script and the name says John, 34, male, when John is capitalized, that will indicate that this is the first time that this character is appearing in this scene. So, if that's your first time appearing in the scene, you'll know on page 34, which may be in the middle of the screenplay, more so in the beginning, that this is the first time your character is appearing. And that's very important because you haven't been in the whole film. This is your first time coming in. So you need to understand where you come in, why you're just now coming in, and who you're coming into the scene with. Now, if you look on the screen, you can see that this example is giving you different breakdowns of the script. It's showing you the characters, the actions, the scene headings, parentheticals, the dialogue, page numbers. It's giving you a lot of details on how to analyze this script. We don't need to overthink it and analyze in that term, but we need to analyze what these different parts mean so we can understand what we're reading. Also, if you look at the example they gave you, you can see action. So a lot of times that will say, John walks into the room and sees Violet sitting at the bar. That's the action. There's no words, there's nothing happening that you need to be saying or anything. You just need to pay attention to the action. John walks into a bar and notices Violet. They're going to show that on screen. Now, it's not something, again, we need to overthink or anything. He's just walking in and he's realizing, hey, Violet's at the bar. So that's an action. I believe a lot of times that is more important than what's being said, because that signals to me that something is about to happen, okay? It's an action. So it might lead to him saying something to her or him doing something to her or whatever it may be, but it's super important to pay attention to these actions because you're going to find them throughout the script. And a lot of people just skip over those actions and go right to what the character's saying, but that's, in my opinion, not as important as the actions. So pay attention to those actions. They will give you so much detail about the script and what's happening, maybe what's happening next, or maybe what happened before. And that is a lot of what you're going to see on screen when you watch the finished product. All right, so I do want to read one example off of this page from an action, and this will give you more detail about what's happening in this scene and how this character may feel. So it says, Rufus sits at a desk, fingers furiously tap dancing on the keyboard. He pauses for briefing and looks at the clock on the wall. The digital display reads 5:34. It already tells you that he's kind of tapping on the thing, he's looking at the clock. So I haven't read anything past that, but my indication would be that he's ready to get the hell out of work or ready to get the hell out of somewhere. Maybe a little impatient or whatever it is. So, like I said, it's really important. Read those actions. Stop worrying about what everyone's saying and focus on more about what they're doing. Next, the scene headings. That is the very top that would most likely say interior or exterior, INTEXT. That will give you an indication of whether the scene is taking place inside or whether the scene's taking place outside. And it'll give you the location as well. So whether you're at the Kmart or whether you're at Walmart or whether you're in an office space. So wherever you're at, it'll be on that scene heading. So pay attention to that too, because that will give you your location. Another thing that the scene heading will give you is daytime or nighttime. Yes, it's important because you kind of want to know what you're walking into, and if it's at nighttime, maybe you're mugging somebody or robbing somebody, or if it's daytime, maybe you're taking the boat out or whatever's happening in the scene. That scene heading will give you the location, day, time, all that stuff. Parentheticals. So this is something that I think is super important as well because it kind of gives that extra detail. For example, it says here, John, so we know his name is John, that's the beginning of his text, breathing heavily. That already tells me something. That gives me just a little bit of detail before I head into his dialogue. You may also find parentheticals giving a different description. It may say sarcastically, happily, sadly, seriously, or it may give you a simple description like turns her back. Then you know you're going to be turning your back and saying your dialogue. So pay attention to the parentheticals, and you'll see them most of the time right under the character's name. Next is page numbers. We spoke a little bit about the page numbers, but I want to get into a little bit more detail. I think this is super important because first off, it'll tell you how long the screenplay or the script is. But second off, when your character appears, you'll know what page and what part of the script that your character is appearing in. For instance, if John is your character and the first time you see him arrive is page 50, you know that from 1 to 49, John wasn't there. And if he was, he didn't say anything, maybe he was standing off somewhere, you can still pay attention to that. But you know that on page 50, your character John has just come into the story. This is super important because you might just be on the very end of the scene. It may end on page 51. So you might only have one page of dialogue. Or the whole entire script could be over on page 52 and you just came in at page 50. So pay attention to that stuff. My lizard's eyeballing me. The next thing is capital names, which we did speak about this as well, but I'll go into just a little more detail and refresh your memory. Capital names is the introduction to the character. If you see Vanessa and it's in all capital letters in the script, that will indicate that she is just now coming into the story. This is the first time the audience will see this character. Why is it important for you to know as an actor? Well, it's super important because this will give you the details that you need to know when entering this script and entering your dialogue. It may say capital letters, Vanessa, comma, 52, comma, female, and then it'll have a description. Based on that description, that's kind of how you're entering that scene. So you want to be very aware of when your character comes in, and if you see Vanessa after that, it won't be in capital letters because she's reoccurring now through the scene. And the last thing I want to talk about is dialogue. Yes, dialogue is super important. It's what's running the engine here. We're speaking to each other. We're having conversations with each other. We're yelling. We're whispering. There's so many different things that are happening with the dialogue. The number one thing that we need to do is not overthink the dialogue either. We need to look at the dialogue. We need to say it to ourselves. Yes, we need to memorize the dialogue. That's a given. We need to memorize it. But my main note for memorizing dialogue is not memorizing it one certain way. So if it says John, and he says, I'm going to the store today, and you're practicing at home, and I'm going to the store today. I'm going to the store today. Then you get on set, and I'm going to the store today. But she says, honey, can you get some groceries, please? And then you're yelling. We need to just have the words. We need to just memorize it and have the words in a blank canvas, so then when we can get on set, there's no expectations. As long as I know the words in my head, I can feel the vibe off of my partner. So if my partner says, honey, can you please go to the store today? I've asked you 10 times. My response, I can read how she's coming at me, and then I can adjust. Then I can say, yes, honey, I'll go to the store right now, or whatever it may be, instead of, yes, I'm going to the store. It doesn't make sense. So you want to have an understanding of your script and your dialogue. That's fine, but let's not overthink the dialogue. The dialogue just needs to be memorized, and you need to be able to have that blank canvas so when you get on set, the words can just flow out however the scene is coming out. There's no expectations. There's no memorizing in a certain way. And also, depending on who your director is, writer, producer, you may be able to take the dialogue and add your own little spin to it. Totally up to the director, but you can ask for permission from the writer or director to put those words maybe into your own words. Maybe not changing up everything, but at least making it comfortable so that it's you. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you found this information useful today. Please do not forget to subscribe and follow me on Instagram, and comment below any questions you have so we can have a discussion about the information today. Also stay tuned because I will have a part 3 coming out of this series, and it's going to be a totally new topic, and it will give another perspective on some information that I have. Alright, I'll see you guys next time.
That's good.